National League East Major League Baseball game here on Major League Baseball's virtual network. The World Series defending champion Washington Nationals playing on the road against the New York Mets. There's Marcus Stroman heading out to the mound. He's starting for the Mets tonight. Those are Stroman's 2019 statistics, both with the Toronto Blue Jays and the New York Mets. This is game 2 of a 3-game series. The Mets won game 1 on Thursday, and both these teams had an off day on Friday, so here we are Saturday now in game 2. Trey Turner steps up to bat against Marcus Stroman. First pitch is a ball, 1-0. It's been not a great day for weather in the Northeast. Rain's been on and off all day, and hopefully it doesn't rain here so this game can be completed. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Hit well but foul, counts even at 1. Trey Turner, regarded as one of the fastest players in all of Major League Baseball, and a table setter at the top of this Nationals order. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss, counts 1-2 now. See a very blank sky, white and gray sky over Citi Field here in the Queens in New York. Counts even, 2 balls and 2 strikes on Trey Turner. This game here is game 2 of a 3-game series. Again, the Mets won the home opener on Thursday. Hit well to right. Conforto makes the catch. And that's 1 out. Starts the top of the first inning. And here's the starting lineup now for the Washington Nationals. Trey Turner, Adam Eaton, Juan Soto, all returners. Eric Thames signed a deal this offseason. Everybody else the same. There's a couple new bench bats as well. A couple new bench bats for the Nationals, Starlin Castro being one of them. He was signed this offseason, entered free agency as a Miami Marlin. And now here's Adam Eaton. Strike called on him, 0-1. Eaton, a former Arizona Diamondback and Chicago White Sox. Started playing for the Nats in 2017. It was a big part of them winning the World Series in 2019. Eaton is 31 years of age. Came here as a center fielder, but since Bryce Harper left, he's been more of a right fielder. And he swings and misses at that pitch, so down goes Adam Eaton on strikes. 2 quick outs for Marcus Stroman, and now here's one of the best young hitters in baseball. It's Juan Soto. Made his debut with the Nationals in 2018 and has just been a phenom ever since. His most notable attribute is how disciplined he is at the plate. He typically doesn't chase. His walk rate is fantastic. But when he puts the ball in play, too, he's still dangerous. Again, 34 home runs in 2019. Takes ball 1 there. This is a looked-at pitching matchup tonight. Marcus Stroman, an all-star last year in the American League, facing Max Scherzer, one of the best pitchers of modern day with the Nationals. 1-2 pitch, here it comes. That's outside, ball 2. The Mets have continued to make some pushes into playoffs, although fizzled out at the end of last season. And it was more or less because of these Nationals, too, getting on such a hot streak the Nats did, and ended up securing a second wild card spot. And every team in the National League East has an opportunity to make playoffs this year. That's for sure. Wild card is not out of the realm of either of the four teams. The Marlins, the Nationals, the Mets. Two-two pitch, here it comes. On the ground, that's a fair ball down the third base side. McNeil will pick it up. Soto's going to try for two. McNeil's throw into Cano is well in time. Soto's called out. Attempting to stretch that into a double, and that ends the top of the first for the Nats offense. No runs, no hit. No runs on one hit. No runners left on, though. Moving to the bottom of the first, it's the Nationals 0 and the Mets coming to bat. There's Max Scherzer, Cy Young Award winner, now World Series champion after last season. Very consistent pitcher, under 3 ERA last year in 27 starts. He's a miracle worker, too. Had some arm stiffness during the World Series. And this man decided he was hurting one night, woke up the next morning before Game 5 and said to the staff, hey, I'm ready to pitch. Certainly a character out there on the mound. 1-0 pitch to Brandon Nimmo. That's called a strike. Count is even, 1 ball and 1 strike. But all these teams in the National League East are very competitive. Marlins, Mets, Phillies, and Nationals all have an opportunity to make the National League wildcard game. Very competitive teams. The Atlanta Braves are really the only team that stands out right now, just because they're back-to-back NL East champions, and their team hasn't changed very much, and they still have some superstars on that roster, and added the addition of Marcell Ozuna to the outfield. Nimmo hits that one into left field, chasing Soto back to the wall. He leaps, and it looked like it hit off his glove, but the ruling on the field's a home run. Brandon Nimmo's second of the season to lead off the bottom of the first. Mets 1, National 0. He hit that the other way, too. Let's watch Soto leap for this ball and see where it landed. Oh, it hit off the railing first. I see. Yeah, that railing is over that yellow line, and that is a home run. Good call by the umpiring crew. Here's Jeff McNeil. Ripped but foul. And the count's 0-1. So Max Scherzer, the first batter he faces in his 2020 debut, results in a home run. And now the count even 1-1 on Jeff McNeil. On opening day, McNeil went 1 for 4 in the Mets win. Had an RBI as well. 1-1 pitch. That's upstairs, 2-1. Kurt Suzuki, the battery mate tonight with Max Scherzer. 2-1 pitch. That's inside. Counts 3-1. Marcus Stroman for the Mets got out of the first rather quickly. Scherzer about to throw his 9th pitch. Struggling here in the first. Gave up a home run to Brandon Nimmo to lead off this bottom of the first. 3-1 finds the zone. Count full now. 3 balls, 2 strikes. On the versatile Jeff McNeil. Swing and a miss. Soft speed pitch got him. Strikeout for Max Scherzer, and that's 1 out. Here in the bottom of the first inning. That little movement inside. Scherzer throws such an electric fastball. When he hits you with the slider, it's tough because it's still a straight pitch, but it darts away or into the batter, in McNeil's case, right at the end. Now here's Pete Alonso. After leading the National League in home runs last season with 53, he has started his year out with 2 home runs. I was back on Thursday. Oh, my goodness. Left field and deep. That ball his way out of here. Pete Alonso homered twice on Thursday. And that's the third home run of the season. He homers in his first at bat here in Game 2 of this series. Mets out to an early 2-0 lead. And Max Scherzer has now been burned on a couple of home runs. First one was a legitimate wall scraper. This one, a majestic Mount Everest type home run. Here's Robinson Cano. Entering his second year with the Mets. Came here as the result of a trade with the Seattle Mariners in the 2018-19 offseason. He and Edwin Diaz came to the Mets. And the Mariners got some prospects from the Mets. 1-0 pitch from Scherzer. That's chopped on the ground foul. Count is even at 1. The Mets are the first National League team that Cano's played for. Made his debut with the New York Yankees in 2005. And signed a deal with the Mariners in 2014 and for 5 seasons. 1-2 pitch to the Mets second baseman. That's foul. Count is still 1-2. Cano on Thursday went 0 for 4, struck out once in the Mets' winning effort. That misses. Counts now even at 2. It was a pitcher's duel early in the game until the 7th inning. Mets scored 2 runs off of Steven Strasburg. He gave up 4 earned runs in Game 1. Gave up 1 earned run in his start on Thursday. In 6 2/3 innings, got the win. That was a powerhouse matchup as well. That game on Thursday, it was Strasburg pitching against Jacob deGrom, the Cy Young Award winner, the reigning Cy Young Award winner in the National League. Scherzer's 2-2 pitch. Foul ball. Counts still even at 2. deGrom is such a talented pitcher that won back-to-back Cy Young awards with the Mets in 2018 and 19. 2-2 pitch. That misses inside. Count run full 3-2. The Mets pitching staff in a little bit weakened. Noah Syndergaard had season-ending surgery last week on his arm, so he won't pitch in 2020. Robinson Cano walks with 1 out. But even with the Noah Syndergaard news, the Mets went out and bolstered their pitching staff by signing veterans Rick Porcello and Michael Wacha. So now both of them are guaranteed a spot in the rotation. With the Syndergaard injury, it was going to be a battle for them, but not quite anymore. Here's J.D. Davis standing in against Max Scherzer. The Mets rotation: Jacob deGrom at the top, Marcus Stroman, the number 2, pitching tonight. Rick Porcello 3, Steven Matz 4, and Michael Wacha 5. 0-1 pitch. Grounded sharply to third. Cabrera, Kendrick, back to Thames, double play, and that ends the inning. But Brandon Nimmo and Pete Alonso each hit solo home runs off Max Scherzer through 1 full inning. It's the Mets 2 and the Nationals 0. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. Brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. Top of the second, here's Eric Thames standing in. Played for the Blue Jays toward the beginning of his career, but had a falling out with them, went to play internationally, and Came back to Major League Baseball with the Brewers. Broke out with them in 2017. Was a platoon player in 2018-19. And became a free agent this past offseason and signed with the Nationals.
Nope, that's inside.
He's platooning right now with the Nationals with Ryan Zimmerman, who was signed back as well. So Thames plays first base when a right-handed pitcher's on the mound, and Zimmerman's in the lineup and plays first when a lefty's on the mound. Check swing, home plate umpire calls it a swing, however. Count now full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the full count pitch from Marcus Stroman. Swing and a miss. No. Correction, that was the 3-1 pitch. My apologies. Now the count's full. 3-2. Here's the pitch to Thames. And that's popped into the air. There's Brandon Nimmo. Catch made, 1 out.
That is fifth. The second baseman, Howie Kendrick.
And here's Howie Kendrick now batting. One out, base is empty.
1-0.
Kendrick's, he's been around and played for a few teams in his major league career, but none more notable than his performance with the Nationals in 2019, and especially his postseason performance. He was a .344 hitter last year with 17 home runs and 62 RBIs. Strike 1 called. Started his career with the Angels, played there from 2006 to 2014. Fouls that pitch off. Played for the Dodgers from 2015 to 2016. Signed with the Phillies in 2017 and was traded to the Nationals in the middle of that season, and he's been playing here ever since. Strikes out there. The throw from Ramos to Alonso completes the strikeout of Hendrick.
The third baseman, number 13.
And with 2 outs, here's Asdrubal Cabrera. Cabrera, another one of those veterans that's been around. He started his career as a shortstop, since moved around to second base, and now playing third base consistently for the Nationals since Anthony Rendon signed with the Angels in the offseason. That's a strike count even at 1. Switch hitter Cabrera batting from the left side against the righty Stroman. Cabrera started his career with the Cleveland Indians, played there from 2007 to 2014, was traded to the Nationals in 2014, ended his season with the Nats, signed with the Rays in 2015, and then played for these Mets from 2016 to 2018. He was dealt to Philadelphia in the middle of the 2018 season, and in 2019 played for the Rangers and then was traded back to the Nationals, won the World Series with them. That play ends the inning. No runs, no hits, and nobody left on for the Nationals through 1.5 innings. It's the Mets 2 and the Nationals 0. The Mets have 6, 7, 8 hitters due up to start the bottom of the second inning. Michael Conforto, Wilson Ramos, and Ahmed Rosario all due to bat. Michael Conforto made his debut with the Mets in 2015. That magical Mets team that made it all the way to the World Series and probably won the NL East in 2015 and lost to the Kansas City Royals in the World Series. But Conforto was a big piece of that team. He was a prospect in the system, and the Mets needed a midseason push. Conforto came up and stole the show in New York and was a hot topic in baseball that year, and has been rather consistent with the Mets since his time here, but nothing as special for him as that 2015 season. Strikes out there against Scherzer. That's the first out in this half inning. Max Scherzer let up 2 solo home runs in the bottom of the first inning. One was to Brandon Nimmo to lead off the inning, and then Pete Alonso went deep. There's Wilson Ramos. Takes strike 1. Ramos, a former Washington National, started his career with the Nats. Been around a few teams, but signed a deal with the New York Mets in the 2018-19 offseason, and this is his second year on New York's National League team. Counts even at 1. Ramos, 32 years of age. Last year batted .288 with 14 home runs and 73 RBIs in 141 games played with the Mets. Thursday he went 1 for 4. Struck out once to begin his season. This is game 2 of a 3-game series between these two National League East opponents. Ramos in a hitter's count now, 3 balls and 1 strike. And that's a strike, finds that lower inside corner, and now the count full 3-2. Scherzer at 33 pitches now through 1 1/3 innings. A lot of high leverage counts. Grounded towards second. There's Hendrick. He throws over to Thames, and that's 2 outs.
Batting it, not shortstop, Ahmed.
And that'll bring up now a former number 1 draft pick of the New York Mets. It's Ahmed Rosario. No bad with 2 outs and the bases empty. Rosario, 24 years of age.
Ball 1, no strike.
Had a .287 last year with 15 home runs and 72 RBIs in 157 games with the Mets.
Ball, that's inside.
Made his debut on August 1st, 2017. And he's in a hitter's count here. 2 balls and no strikes. Scherzer's pitch.
That's a ball.
That's a ball. Just missed pitcher spot on deck. Marcus Stroman scheduled to bat. Rosario in the driver's seat in this count. Here's the 3-0.
That pitch is up.
Too high, ball 4, and Ahmed Rosario works a 4-pitch walk. And now advantage Mets. Pitcher spot comes up and will most likely not lead off heading into the next inning. Marcus Stroman, formerly an American League pitcher, so he's not used to batting very much. Stroman was a first-round draft pick of the Toronto Blue Jays in 2012, 22nd overall. Had played for Toronto, made his debut with the Blue Jays in 2014, pitched for the Blue Jays from 2014 up until the middle of the 2019 season, and he came to the Mets at the trade deadline.
Ball 1.
Counts even at 1. His batting statistics... He is a career 105 hitter.
I got to count 1 and 2.
Stroman has 1 home run and 1 RBI from that home run on his career, and he didn't even do that with the Mets. He did that in 2017 with the Blue Jays. 1-2 pitch. Got him swinging. Max Scherzer gets another strikeout, and that ends the second inning. Mets get no runs on no hits, 1 walk in the inning, and only 1 runner left on base. Moving to the third inning, it's the Mets 2 and the Nats 0. Here's Kurt Suzuki. He'll lead off the top of the third inning for the Nationals. Playing catcher for this Nationals team. Most iconically, hit a game-winning home run against this Mets team last season, and that was a huge game for the Nationals. They were making a postseason push, but the Mets caught fire as well. The Mets had a 6-run lead going into the bottom of the 9th inning, and the bullpen could not shut out this Nationals team. And Kurt Suzuki famously hit the walk-off home run in the bottom of the ninth. And the Nationals won that game 10-9. Rips that pitch to left field, chasing McNeil back to the wall. And that's off the wall. Suzuki, not running well, elects to stop at first with a rather long single. Nobody out. And here's number 8 hitter now, and for the longest time was one of the Nationals' top prospects. It's Victor Robles. Takes ball 1 inside. Robles playing center field for the Nationals. He is 22 years old, coming into 2020. Speaking of which, Juan Soto just turned 21 during the offseason. He was born on October 25th, 1998, just turned 21. But when he hit the walk-off home run, or not the walk-off home run, when he got that hit in the wild card game that put the Nationals ahead and sent them to the division series last postseason, he was not old enough to enjoy the champagne the rest of the team had. And that's just amazing. There's so much young talent on this Nationals team, and all the pieces came together late. This Nationals team last season started 19-31. And managed to come and get the home wild card spot, the first wild card spot, and win a World Series with that. 3-2 pitch on the ground, up the middle. Rosario steps on the bag himself. That forces out Suzuki, and the return throw to Alonso's in time. Victor Robles grounds into a double play, and there's some show tracks for you. Analyzing that play, 84-mile-per-hour throw. Man, Rosario covered 27 feet. Stellar defensive play. 2 outs here is Max Scherzer. 2 outs, bases empty for him. Doesn't go around, that's ball 1. Scherzer, like Stroman, pitched the first part of his career in the American League with the Detroit Tigers. Came up as a rookie with the Arizona Diamondbacks, but was traded in 2009 to the Tigers. Was a great pitcher with them. Won Cy Young Awards with the Tigers. Was a great piece of their 2012 and 2013 playoff teams, and 2014 for that matter. But signed here with the Nationals in 2015. And he's got a 3-0 count on him. It's outside, ball 4. Scherzer works a 2-out walk. It's still disputed who exactly is the ace of this Washington Nationals team, too. Steven Strasburg got the opening day start, and he signed the second biggest pitcher contract in the history of baseball. 7-year deal with the Nationals this offseason. Garrett Cole, of course, the highest paid pitcher in all of baseball, with a 9-year, $324 million deal signed with the New York Yankees. But it's like, does Strasburg get the term ace because he earned all that money, or does Scherzer get it because he's been talented and consistent for so many years? I don't know, but there's Trey Turner. He fouls that pitch off. Counts 0-2, or 1-2, excuse me. Stroman at 45 pitches now, relatively efficient. Doesn't get the call on that pitch. Counts 2-2. The Mets got 2 runs on solo homers by Brandon Nimmo and Pete Alonso. They lead 2-0, but there's a shot in the right center by Trey Turner. That's going to roll to the wall. Scherzer chugging along to third. Nimmo picks it up. Scherzer's going to be held at third, and Trey Turner at second base. With a 2-out double, Nationals set up to score, but still 2 outs on the board. Perfectly placed in that gap. If Scherzer were not a pitcher, I'm certain he would have come around to score. But that's the situation the Nationals are in right now. Here's Adam Eaton. Eaton struck out against Stroman in his first at-bat. Otherwise, .279 hitter in 2019. Sharp ground ball to short. Ahmed Rosario plays, throws to Alonso. That ends the inning. Mets get out of danger. Nationals, no runs on a hit in the inning. One walk as well in the inning. And nobody left on base. Going to the bottom of the third inning, it's the Mets 2 and the Nationals 0. Batting here, and those are his stats to start the season.
The center fielder, Brandon Nimmo.
He homered in his first at bat against Max Scherzer, takes strike one. Nimmo in game one of this series went 3 for 4 with a home run. So he hit his second home run of the season in his first at bat. Pete Alonso went deep twice in that game on Thursday and hit. Alonso scheduled to bat third in this half inning. 1-1 pitch to Nimmo. That's swung on and missed. Counts 0-2. 1-2. Scherzer into the windup. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him with the off speed. Nimmo down on strikes. And that's one out.
The batter, number 6.
Here in bottom half of the third. I'll bring up Jeff McNeil. McNeil 0 for 1 in this game. And grounds that sharply to third. Cabrera. Over to Thames, that's 2 outs. And Scherzer, after relatively struggling in the first and second innings, has 2 quick outs here on the bottom of the third. Here's Pete Alonso. Single season rookie home run record holder with 53. He did that last season. Won the 2019 Home Run Derby as a rookie. And is quite the run producer with the New York Mets. Even to start this season, he already has 3 home runs. 0-1 pitch coming from Scherzer. Foul ball, count quickly 0-2. It was quite a historic 2019 Home Run Derby. Both Alonso and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. were both rookies, and they made the finals of the 2019 Home Run Derby. Alonso won it. And that might have been credited to the fact that Jock Peterson and Vladimir Guerrero seemed to go into infinite overtimes, but Guerrero Jr. outlasted Jock Peterson and made it to the finals. Only for Alonso to win. Strikes out in that at bat. That ends the inning. Scherzer with a clean third inning. All zeros on the board that half inning. Going to the next inning. Top of the fourth, it's the Mets 2 and the Nationals 0. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. NL East game between the Nationals and the Mets. Juan Soto singled in his first at bat, and he leads off the top of the fourth for the Nationals. 3, 4, 5 hitters due up. Part of the order: Juan Soto, Eric Thames, and Howie Kendrick, all scheduled to bat this half inning. On the ground, right side, Alonso plays, throws to Stroman's got to run to first, and he got him. 1 out.
The batter, the first baseman, Eric Thames.
Here's Eric Thames. He's 0 for 1. That ripped and foul. Counts 0-1 on Thames. In his career, has played for the Toronto Blue Jays, Seattle Mariners, and the Milwaukee Brewers before coming here to play for Washington, D.C.
2 strikes.
Counts 1-2. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes on Thames, first baseman tonight for the Nationals. And look out, counts 2-2. Stroman been pitching cleanly so far. Hasn't allowed a run yet. A couple of hits here and there, but nothing significant. Thames strikes out. So a ground out and a strikeout start. Top of the 4th inning. Here's our top pitch speed comparison. And wow. Yep, velocity is high for both these pitchers. As advertised as well. Both Stroman and Scherzer, All-Stars in their respective leagues last season. Stroman made the All-Star game with the Toronto Blue Jays. Max Scherzer was an All-Star with the Nationals.
1-0.
High velocity tends to come with that. But not a shocker that these two throwing in the high 90s in this game. Scherzer, despite having the higher velocity, has given up 2 long balls to the Mets. In the first inning, Nimmo and Alonso each hit solo home runs. That made it 2-0. Since then, scoring's been quiet amongst both teams. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Stroman behind to Howie Kendrick. Veteran infielder for this Nationals team takes ball 3. Counts 3-1. That misses, and a 2-out walk issued to Howie Kendrick.
The third baseman, number 13.
And Asdrubal Cabrera, the switch hitter, coming to the plate. Stroman over 60 pitches now through 3 2/3 innings. Asdrubal Cabrera yet to get a hit this season. Went 0-for in the first game of this series back on Thursday, and 0-for-1 to start the night tonight. 0-1 pitch. Chopped on the ground up the middle. Looks like Rosario played. Awkwardly flips to Cano, but the out of Hendricks is recorded. And that ends the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 walk in the inning. 1 runner left on base. Going to the bottom of the 4th, it's the Mets 2 and the Nationals 0. So there's Heidi Watney and reporting for Major League Baseball Network. Unfortunately, no use for her here. Can't hear her microphone. That's it's upsetting. There's new manager of the Mets. Big story with Carlos Beltran getting hired and let go in the same offseason.
The second baseman.
He was hired by the Mets. Everybody was so excited. And then the Houston Astros scandal broke out. Had some rippling effects. Beltran was one of them. And he's no longer the Mets manager.
No, that's low.
Ball 1 to Robinson Cano. 4, 5, 6 hitters due up for the Mets. Robinson Cano, J.D. Davis, and Michael Conforto all scheduled to bat. And that pitch fouled off. Counts even, 1 ball and 1 strike on Robinson Cano. Second baseman of this New York Mets team. Came here with a trade with the Seattle Mariners in the 18-19 offseason.
Count is 1-2.
He's still been on a decline despite switching teams. Really had his breakout seasons with the Yankees. Strikes out there. Hit the ground. Suzuki will throw to Thames, and Robinson Cano strikes out. And completed after that drop third strike. 1 out. Here's J.D. Davis. Davis, former Washington no. J.D. Davis, a former Houston Astro.
0-1.
Didn't get too much playing time over there. He was really just a prospect, but got traded here to the Mets. In the 2018-19 offseason. 0-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Max Scherzer gets another strikeout. That's 2 outs now in the bottom of the 4th inning.
The right fielder.
Well, there's no question that this was a strike. Davis this wasn't looking fastball in that at bat. Now 2 outs. Michael Conforto coming in. And that pitch misses inside. Conforto 0 for 1. 257 hitter in 2019. Started his career as a left fielder. Now playing right field for the Mets. There's been a lot of question marks in the Mets outfield. Jeff McNeil's been in left and right field. Brandon Nimmo's been between right and center field. Or even J.D. Davis potentially going to play the outfield in 2020. More question marks with Yoenis Cespedes getting hurt and most likely missing 2020, at least some part of it as well. The new addition of Jake Marisnick, how he's going to fit into the mix. Nothing about the Mets outfield is set in place yet. But the outfield for the Mets starting today, Conforto in right, Nimmo in center, and McNeil in left. 3-2 pitch, that's inside. Scherzer issues a 2-out walk. And with 2 outs, here's Wilson Ramos. Talked about his connection to the Nationals. Made his major league debut with them. Been around a few organizations in recent history, but seems to have found a home here in New York after signing a contract in free agency. Takes ball 1 upstairs.
Ball 1, no strike.
He used to be Scherzer's battery mate, though, once upon a time. Ramos was around for the first couple years of Scherzer's deal. 15 and part of 16. That pitch misses. Counts 2-0. Two-0 pitch to Ramos. That misses, and Scherzer falls behind as far as he can. It's 3-0. Mets scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 4th inning on solo home runs by Brandon Nimmo and Pete Alonso. 3-0 pitch to Ramos over the middle of the plate. Counts now 3-1. On the ground up the middle, past Hendrick, into center field, base hit. And it's a 2-out single now for Wilson Ramos. So Conforto walked, and Wilson Ramos just singled. Conforto now on second, Ramos on first. Here's Ahmed Rosario. Strike 1 called. Rosario walked in his first at bat. Batting now for the second time against Scherzer. 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Falls behind quickly. No balls. 2 strikes. Oh-2 pitch. Scherzer's 72nd pitch coming. Doesn't get Rosario to bite on it. Counts 1-2. Pitcher spot on deck. Marcus Stroman scheduled to bat. Scherzer got out of last inning relatively quickly, but in hot water again here in the bottom of the 4th. On the ground, third base side, played by Cabrera, throws to Kendrick, covering second. I'm so sorry, Howie Kendrick. Covering second, that ends the inning. No runs on a hit, 1 walk in the inning, and 2 runners left on base. Going to the 5th inning, it's New York 2 and Washington 0. So as Heidi Watney continues to speak, let me just apologize to Howie Kendrick. First I thought his name was Kendrick, then Hendrick, then Hendricks. I'm so sorry. Howie Kendrick. My mind's a little scrambled today, but there's Trey Turner. Nice man. Talented infielder. Can also play the outfield. One of the fastest players in baseball.
Leading off for Washington.
And he's scheduled to bat fourth in this inning if the front part of this offense gets on. 7, 8, 9 hitters due up for the Nationals. Kurt Suzuki, Victor Robles, and Max Scherzer in the pitcher spot.
Outside, that's a ball.
Scherzer not guaranteed to bat, though, this top of the fifth inning. He's close to 80 pitches now. And he's been in some dangerous situations. Rosario's throw to Alonso, not in time. Kurt Suzuki beats out the infield single to lead off the top of the fifth. Mets got a couple runs on 2 solo home runs hit by Brandon Nimmo and Pete Alonso. That was in the bottom of the first. There's Victor Robles, takes strike one. Robles grounded into a double play his first at bat. Suzuki on for the second time today. And here's the 0-1 pitch. It's chopped foul, counts 0-2. It's rare that Robles grounds into double plays as well. He's a quick runner. There's just a well-turned double play. It was hit right up the middle. And Rosario had enough time to step on the second base bag himself and then make a return throw to first. Robles strikes out there against Stroman, so he's 0 for 2 now. And that's the first out of the top of the fifth inning. Pitcher spot due up. Due up now. Scherzer's going to bat. No, he's scheduled to pitch come the bottom half of this inning, and he's swinging, grounded to third, and he hits it past Davis at third. Throw to second, not in time, neither to first. Wow.
Up next for the Nationals.
So, J.D. Davis was playing in, expecting a bunt. Scherzer hit it past Davis. Rosario stopped it on the infield, couldn't get it out at second or first. Now it's first and second. One out here is Trey Turner, takes strike one. So that's an infield single for Max Scherzer. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss, counts 0-2. Scherzer got on base last time he batted as well. He's on base for the second time in this game, and 3 pitches, 3 strikes. Trey Turner's down, and that's the second out. Yeah, the slider just froze him, I guess. That's what that pitch looked like. Some kind of breaking ball. And that's the second out. Now here's Adam Eaton. Suzuki on second, Scherzer on first. Nationals down 2 runs. Stroman was in this same situation a couple innings ago, but he was able to pitch out of it. Here's the 1-0. Broken bat. Davis will play it. Throws to Cano, and just out at second is Max Scherzer. Post play, but the inning's over. Nationals get 2 aboard, but fail to score in the top of the fifth. Going to the bottom half of the inning, it's the Mets 2 and the Nationals 0.
Leading up for the Mets, the pitcher,
Marcus Stroman, and back to the top, Brandon Nimmo and Jeff McNeil, all scheduled to bat in this bottom of the fifth inning. That's line but foul, strike one. Stroman swinging hard. Finds himself in an 0-2 count. Well, down the right field line, over goes Eaton, and he makes the catch.
the center fielder, number 9.
So Stroman begins this bottom of the fifth with an out. And back to the top of the order, Brandon Nimmo. Homer back in the first, 1 for 2 total. And rips that pitch towards center field. There's Victor Robles. Catch made, 2 outs.
Now batting, number 6.
And with 2 outs, here is Jeff McNeil. He's hitless in his first couple at bats against Scherzer. Strike 1 called.
0-1's the count.
Here comes the 0-1.
Nope, that's a ball. 1-1.
Swing and a miss, counts 1-2.
1 ball, 2 strikes the count.
Jeff McNeil falls behind. That was Scherzer's 80th pitch there. McNeil doesn't bite on that pitch. Counts even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mets have a 2-run lead thanks to a couple solo home runs in the first inning. One hit by Brandon Nimmo, the other hit by Pete Alonso, and Alonso's on deck. Not guaranteed to bat, though, in this bottom of the 5th. McNeil into right field, base hit in front of Adam Eaton. Eaton throws to Turner, and that's a 2-out single for Jeff McNeil, his first hit of the game.
The first baseman, Pete Alonso.
McNeil now with 2 hits on the season and 2 hits in the series. And here's Pete Alonso. Alonso has started this season with 3 home runs now. Hit 2 in Thursday's game. Of course, the off day on Friday, and then in this game, game 2 of the series, he went deep in his first at bat. First pitch from Scherzer. That's inside, ball 1. And there's a lot of talks about Alonso coming up and being one of the Mets' top prospects, and he's been, so far, as quality as advertised. 1-0 pitch. Strike 1, count is even, 1 ball and 1 strike. I mean, it's quite an accomplishment when a hitter can hit 50 plus home runs in a single season. Alonso did that as a rookie. Just unfathomable accomplishments by such young players. You know, there and Judge breaking the same record a season ago, or a couple seasons ago.
2-2.
Such young talent coming up and changing the dynamic of baseball. 2-2 pitch, that's fouled off, count 2-2. Alonso right now starts the season with a hot streak. And fouls that pitch off, count 2-2. So Alonso's 1 for 2 in this game. On Thursday, he went 2 for 4 and had 4 RBIs in that game. That was his 5th RBI on his solo home run he had earlier. But strikes out for the second time against Scherzer in that at bat. Scherzer's made it through 5 innings, despite giving up 2 runs in the first, going to the 6th. Mets 2 and the Nationals 0. There's Juan Soto coming to bat.
The left fielder, Juan Soto.
First pitch from Marcus Stroman entering his 6th inning pitching. Stroman yet to give up a run despite some sprinkles of hits
That's a ball. Is that a ball?
throughout this game that he's given up. the first start for Stroman in this 2020 season. 1-1 pitch to Juan Soto. That's outside. Counts 2-1. 3, 4, 5 hitters due up for the Nats. Juan Soto, Eric Thames, and Howie Kendrick. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. On the ground right side, Cano bobbles the ball, and Soto beats it out.
Now batter.
Robinson Cano commits an error, allows Juan Soto to reach, leading off the 6th inning. Certainly a routine play. Here's Eric Thames. First pitch from Stroman.
Nope.
That's inside, ball 1. Thames batted .247 with 25 home runs and 61 RBIs in 149 games with the Brewers. With Jesus Aguilar breaking out and Ryan Braun being used at first base, Thames was forced to play the outfield regularly.
Ball that's outside.
That's really where he started. When he broke out with the Brewers in 2017, his stat line looked like this. He batted .247, hit 31 home runs, and drove in 63 RBIs in 138 games with the Brewers. And he's such a feel-good story because of him going to play internationally and making himself good enough to come back to the majors, and he produced well. Singles here. And gets aboard. Juan Soto advances to second on the play. Eric Thames has his second hit now of the series and the season. And here's Howie Kendrick batting. Nobody out, runners at first and second. He rips that pitch foul. That's strike 1. Kendrick 0 for 1, but he walked in his most recent at bat. Drummond again in a tough spot, but this time there's nobody out. Hit one to right field. Over for it goes Conforto. Makes the catch. He throws it all the way to third. And no tag applied by J.D. Davis. Juan Soto successfully tags from second to third base. And with one out, and runners at first and third, Asdrubal Cabrera comes up to bat. Eric Thames on first base. He singled. Juan Soto walked to begin the inning. He's on third. Kendrick just flew out to right field. And the 1-0 coming from Stroman. That is hit well to right field. Back goes Conforto to the wall. That's a home run! 3-run home run for Asdrubal Cabrera, and the Nationals on one swing take the lead. Here in the top of the 6th inning. That just stayed fair, too. Entered the second deck. Only 2 of those 3 runs were earned for Stroman, if you're keeping that in a scorebook or just want to know. Juan Soto reached base on an error by Cano to start the inning. So 2 earned runs to Stroman, but 3 score. 2-0's the count now on Kurt Suzuki, the number 7 hitter. Suzuki 2 for 2 in this game. Hit an infield single in his most recent at bat. .2-0 hit well to right field. Suzuki 3 for 3. And Suzuki a hot start to the season now.
Now back, the center fielder, Victor Rosewood.
Suzuki now 5 for 7 in the series. And that's going to do it for Marcus Stroman. He can't pitch out of the 6th. Goes 5 1/3 innings and gives up 2 earned runs. And even though that one run wasn't earned, he right now is in line for the loss. This game's still far from being over. But here's Robert Geiselman. He inherits a runner on first situation. The book not closed on Stroman either because Suzuki is Stroman's responsibility. Here's Victor Robles. Robles 0 for 2, facing Geiselman for the first time. Geiselman pitched on opening day.
2 balls, no strikes.
He got credited with a hold. He replaced Jacob deGrom after deGrom couldn't get out of the 7th. Pitched only 1 batter and got 1 out. And that was it for him. Might be in a situation here where, well, at the very least, his job will be to record 2 outs because he is obligated to pitch to either a minimum of 3 batters or to pitch till the conclusion of the inning, which would be for him to get 2 outs. That fouled off, count even 2 balls and 2 strikes. But Asdrubal Cabrera hit a 3-run home run in this inning that gave the Nats the lead, and Robles strikes out there. He's had a rough day, now 0 for 3, and that's 2 outs.
Number 31, Max Scherzer.
Max Scherzer's going to bat again. Scherzer has a hit. Actually, 2 hits now that I think about it. Scherzer's 2 for 2. Oh, he's 1 for 1. He walked in his first at bat. He reached base twice, though. And now he's 2 for 2. Max Scherzer contributing as much to the offense as he has been on the mound. 2 for 2, and he's 3 for 3 in the on-base percentage department. Yeah, back to the top of the order. Here's Trey Turner. There's still a 0 in that RBI department. Double back in the 3rd, 1 for 3. Facing Geiselman for the first time. And the Mets in another dangerous spot. This would be the last batter that Geiselman is obligated to face.
Ball 1. Ball 1, no strikes.
Still a 3-batter minimum rule that was implemented this offseason. Requires pitchers now to throw to a minimum of 3 batters in a half inning. And Geiselman struggling out of the bullpen. He got 1 out of Victor Robles, but there was a couple runners on base. Kurt Suzuki at second. Still the responsibility of Marcus Stroman. And Max Scherzer singled off Geiselman, so the book opens on Scherzer for Geiselman. Stroman pitched 5 1/3 innings, couldn't get out of the 6th inning, though, and he was the one that gave up the 3-run home run to Asdrubal Cabrera. 2-2 count now on Trey Turner. Here's the pitch. Triple hit on the ground. Cano makes a play, throws over to Rosario, and that forces out Max Scherzer at second. That ends the inning. But an error, a hit, and this home run have given the Nationals a 3-2 lead going into the bottom of the 6th. So Max Scherzer is 2 for 2. He's reached base on all 3 plate appearances he's had in this game and will now pitch in the bottom of the 6th inning with a lead. The Mets haven't scored since the bottom of the 1st inning when Brandon Nimmo and Pete Alonso each hit solo home runs.
Outside.
And here is Robinson Cano. 1-0 count on him. Base is empty. He's leading off. For the Mets, 4-5-6 due up for the New York Metropolitans. Robinson Cano, J.D. Davis, and Michael Conforto. All scheduled to bat in this half inning. Scherzer has now eclipsed 90 pitches. Working his way into the 6th inning. His mound opponent, Marcus Stroman, could not pitch out of the 6th inning. There's Robinson Cano with a single. And that's the tying run on board here in the bottom of the 6th.
Now batting, the third baseman, J.D.
Well, that's one of those kind of swings that you feel fortunate about. It was an inside pitch. Cano got jammed, and despite that, still has his average increase with a hit. Here's J.D. Davis, 0 for 2. That was Cano's first hit of the 2020 season as well. He went 0 for 4 on opening day and went 0 for to start this game, but has a hit now. J.D. Davis lines that pitch foul. That's strike one. Davis hit a couple home runs in a spring game right before the season started. He seemed to be catching fire. But on opening day, he went 0 for 3. That pitch hit water right center field. Eaton back on it. He makes the catch. Extending the arm, records the out. Cano goes back to first.
The right fielder,
And that's out number 1. There's Michael Conforto. 0 for 1 with a walk. Conforto 1 for 4 on opening day. Now 1 for 5 in the series. And he chops that pitch foul, strike one. The Mets won game 1 after the Mets scored 4 on starter Steven Strasburg. Won 6-2 against the Nationals. Mets were up 2-0 till that top of the 6th inning. Robinson Cano committed an error. Eric Thames reached on a single. And Asdrubal Cabrera homered. Made it a 3-2 game. Juan Soto put the ball in play at Cano with a big crucial error. Marcus Stroman gave up 2 earned runs in 5 1/3 innings pitched. In line for the loss, despite that earned run, or that run not being earned. 1-2 pitch coming to Conforto. That's ripped to right field. Back goes Eaton to the wall. Goodbye. Teeter-totter starting to fluctuate. A 2-run home run by Michael Conforto. Home run number 1 on the season. Mets take the lead now from the Nationals. It's 4-3. First run scored since the first inning for the Mets. But all 4 of their runs were scored on homers. Stroman off the hook for the loss, and now Scherzer back on the hook. Reached the double deck. Out in right field, Scherzer still going to pitch. Here's the century mark. Ball 1 inside. Stroman couldn't pitch out of the 6th, and isn't looking too well for Scherzer either. Here's the 1-0. Up high, hitters count now for Ramos. 2-ball, no strike count. Two-0 pitch. That misses low, and Scherzer now struggling. Ramos awaiting the 3-0. Inside ball 4, a 4-pitch walk, and Dave Martinez doing some stirring now in the Nationals dugout.
Now batting, the shortstop, Ahmed Rosario.
And here comes Dave Martinez. Max Scherzer cannot pitch out of the sixth. He goes 5 1/3 innings. Gives up 4 earned runs in his 2020 debut. And is in line for the loss, barring a Nationals comeback. Wander Suero
Number 51.
comes out of the bullpen to pitch. On opening day, he pitched an inning, didn't give up a run. Struck out a couple batters as well. Wilson Ramos just walked. Ramos is Scherzer's responsibility, so the book not officially closed on Scherzer yet, but as of now, he's given up 4 earned runs and pitches 5 1/3 innings. Strike one called to Ahmed Rosario. 0-1. Here's the 0-1.
Ball 1.
Suero's 1-1. Here's the pitch. That's up high. Counts 2-1. Fly ball into right. And that's a foul ball. It's the count now. 2-2 on Ahmed Rosario. And that's down low, and pitcher spot on deck for the Mets. I wouldn't imagine that Geiselman would pitch again. He only pitched a third of an inning on opening day on Thursday. Especially in a run-producing spot for the Mets. That can't find the zone either. That's ball 4. And now runners have reached on first and second.
The pitcher, Robert.
Yeah, didn't catch enough of the zone.
Your attention, please.
And coming off the bench is Eduardo
Number
Nunez.
12, Eduardo Nunez.
Eduardo Nunez, former New York Yankee, San Francisco Giant, Minnesota Twin. Played for the Boston Red Sox as well. Now here with the New York Mets. Nunez pinch hit. And walked
1 ball, 1 strike.
on opening day. Well, it's almost deja vu. Stroman started pitching. Geiselman came in to replace Stroman, and then Nunez coming in to pinch hit in place of Geiselman. On the ground to third, played by Cabrera, throws to Kendrick. Back to Thames, but Nunez beats out the back end.
The center fielder.
So he's on now at first, but with 2 outs.
Nimmo.
So Ramos on third now. And Nunez on first. Rosario was the one forced out at second. He was the fastest of all the runners on base. And here's Brandon Nimmo batting, 2 outs, runners at first and third. Hot start to the season, .571 average, has a couple home runs now, hit his second to lead off the Mets offensive half of the first. Bad pitch gets away from Suzuki. Nunez late break goes to second. Suzuki's throw to Turner is late. And Ramos not going anywhere, goes back to third, but that's still a wild pitch on Suero. That puts both runners in scoring position now, and Nimmo a dangerous hitter. That's ripped well to center. Back goes Robles to the wall. Home run! Mets have broken this game wide open. Brandon Nimmo's second home run of the game, his third home run of the season, has given the Mets a 4-run cushion here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The book officially closed now on Max Scherzer and Suero. Couple earned runs on his book now. Deepest part of the ballpark, and that hit the apple out in center field too. Hit the big apple. And 7-3 is the score now. So officially for Max Scherzer, he gives up 5 earned runs in 5 1/3 innings pitched. Wander Suero has now pitched 1/3 of an inning and given up 2 earned runs. 7-3 Mets. Strike called on Jeff McNeil. Elias and Voth warming up for the Nationals. Well, the game was going back and forth. The Mets have broken it open. Counts 1-2.
1-2.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The Mets have scored 5 runs in this half inning. Strike 3 called. That ends the bottom of the 6th inning. Eight batters come to the plate for the Mets. 5 of them score. Going to the 7th, it's the Mets 7 and the Nationals 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. Now pitching for the Mets, number 38.
Justin Wilson will come in. Eduardo Nunez was the pinch hitter in the bottom half of the 6th. Geiselman's day is over.
The Nationals, the right fielder, number 2, Adam Eaton.
Here's Adam Eaton leading off for the Nationals, who just relinquished a 1-run lead. And that was their only lead of the game on a 3-run home run by Asdrubal Cabrera, but Mets scored 5 in the bottom of the 6th. Give themselves a 7-3 lead. And now a 2-0 count on Eaton. 2, 3, 4 hitters do up for the Nationals. Adam Eaton, Juan Soto, and Eric Thames. That pitch hit the other way. That's going to stay fair. McNeil plays it. And with that good relay in, limits Adam Eaton to a single.
Left fielder,
But a leadoff single and Juan Soto coming to the plate. Justin Wilson more than likely coming in because the 3 hitters he'll face this half inning, the first 3 I should say, are all left-handed hitters. For Soto, though, it doesn't really matter. He's a pretty good hitter all the way around, whether it's a left-handed pitcher or a right-handed pitcher. That hit well towards center, and that's not going to be run down by Nimmo. That's going to hit off the wall. Eaton round second. Relay in from Nimmo to Rosario, goes to the plate. And a 1-out double for the Nationals, and they're not giving up quite yet.
the first baseman.
2 runners in scoring position, nobody out.
Thames.
And here comes Eric Thames. Thames homered on opening day on Thursday. Had 1 of 2 runs scored that game. He's got a hit in this game as well. Hits that pitch well to right field, sending Conforto back to the warning track. Conforto makes the catch. Adam Eaton tags from third. He'll come around to score. And Juan Soto advances from second to third base on the play. Now a 3-run game, 7-4. Nationals trail. And 1 out, still a runner in scoring position at third. Here's Howie Kendrick. Fouls that pitch off, strike 1. Kendrick, a good contact hitter, but favors facing left-handed pitching as compared to right-handed pitching. Nothing in 1 pitch. That's high, count is even, 1 ball and 1 strike. Kendrick won his first World Series championship
Ball two.
with the Washington Nationals of his career last season. Was a part of some Dodgers teams as well. He was a part of the Dodgers when they were still on their streak for NL West titles. And never won a World Series with them. Catch made by Nimmo. Soto's going to try to tag. Nimmo's throw not cut off. It's offline to Ramos. Juan Soto scores from third base. And that's going to do it for Justin Wilson. Gives up 2 earned runs and leaves the bases empty. Gives up both runs on sacrifice flies. Dellin Betances comes into the game. Didn't leave the city of New York, just went from the Yankees to the Mets. Signed this offseason, made his debut with the Mets on opening day. And throws a strike there to Asdrubal Cabrera. It's 0-1. Cabrera, the switch hitter, batting from the left side of the plate. Betances has struggled with injuries the last couple years. And Cabrera's got himself a 2-out base hit, and the Nationals were down 4 runs to start this half inning, but they are chipping away now. 2-run game, inning still not over. Cabrera's on base with another hit. Well, it struggled with injuries, did Betances at the end of 2018 and for most of 2019. Didn't really have a memorable end to his Yankees career. But turning a page over now with the Mets. 1-0 count on Kurt Suzuki. Swing and a miss, counts even at 1. Suzuki went 3 for 3. All of his hits coming off Marcus Stroman. Lifts that pitch in the air to left field. Jeff McNeil makes the catch, and that ends the top of the 7th inning. Couple sac flies. Net the Nationals a couple more runs. They still trail those 7-5 against the Mets going into the bottom of the 7th inning. Dave Martinez comes out of the dugout, and let's take a listen to what this double switch is going to be.
Your attention, please. These changes for Washington. Now pitching and batting in the 7th spot, number 21, Tanner Rainey. Now catching and batting 9, number 10, Yan Jones.
So the Nationals gearing themselves for some more offense. Double switch takes place, so Tanner Rainey now will pitch and bat where Kurt Suzuki batted in the 7th spot. Yan Gomes comes off the bench to catch, and he assumes the number 9 spot in the lineup for the Nationals. Here's Pete Alonso batting. 3-4-5 hitters due up for the Mets. I think I said he's batting for the Nationals. He's batting for the Mets. Alonso, Cano, Davis. All due up this half inning. Pitch misses high, ball 1. Alonso homered in the first inning. That was his only hit to this point of the game. Hit 2 home runs on opening day. Big part of the Mets' 6-2 win over the Nationals. This is game 2 of a 3-game series. 1-2 pitch. That misses high. Counts even at 2. Game 3 of this series is tomorrow. Two coming. Swing and a miss. Got him. And that's a strikeout of Pete Alonso. He goes down on strikes again. And that's out number 1.
Second baseman, Robinson.
So a scoring rundown for you. Mets scored 2 runs in the bottom of the first inning on a couple solo home runs. One by Brandon Nimmo, the other by Pete Alonso. That made it 2-0. Both those were hit off Max Scherzer. Nobody scored after that until the top of the 6th. Juan Soto reached on an error. Eric Thames singled, and then Asdrubal Cabrera hit a 3-run home run off Marcus Stroman that chased him from the game. That made it 3-2. And then immediately in the bottom of the 6th, Cano flies that one out to right. Eaton has a play. 2 outs. But in the bottom of the 6th inning, the Mets went on a rampage. Sent 8 batters to the plate, scored 5 of them, took the lead 7-3. One of the big hits in that half inning was Brandon Nimmo's 3-run home run. And then in the top of the 7th, Justin Wilson came into pitch, and he gave up 2 earned runs on a couple hits and a couple sacrifice flies. So now it's 7-5. This game more balanced offensively than it was yesterday. The Mets, or not yesterday, 2 days ago, but the Mets dominated the offense, scoring 4 earned runs on Steven Strasburg and winning against the Nationals 6-2. Now 2 outs, J.D. Davis up to the plate. Rainey got a couple quick outs to start this bottom of the 7th inning. Now Davis falls behind 1-2.
Nope, that's down.
Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That ends the bottom of the 7th inning. Mets get no runs on no hits and leave no runners on base through 7 full innings. It's the Mets 7 and the Nationals 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Now pitching for the New York Mets, number 67, Seth Lugo.
Here's Seth Lugo. After Edwin Diaz struggled coming over to the Mets from the Mariners, Lugo really assumed the closer's role last season. Batting in a setup spot here. And Diaz earned his closer's job back in the offseason. And Lugo hits Victor Robles to begin this top of the 8th inning, but might be a 1-2 punch of them. Diaz came in on opening day as well. And he got the save, pitching a third of an inning in the top of the 9th. Here's Yan Gomes. First pitch misses high. That's ball 1. There's Dave Martinez. The bullpen of the Nationals. The Nationals down 2 runs. Victor Robles on first. He got hit by a pitch. Here's the 1-0 to Gomes. That's outside and a little low. Counts 2-0. Yan Gomes, former Cleveland Indian. Signed with the Washington Nationals in the 18-19 offseason. This is his 2nd year with the Nats. Of course, the Nationals needed some catching depth, so they signed Kurt Suzuki as well. So these two have been platooning together. Suzuki a little bit more favorable for playing time, but Gomes, good depth to have on the team. 3-0 pitch. Right over the heart of the plate. 3 balls and a strike. Three-one pitch. That's outside, ball 4. So a hit by pitch and a walk put Victor Robles on second and Yan Gomes on first. The go-ahead run is coming to the plate now. And it's the top of the order, Trey Turner. 1 for 4, hit a double in the 3rd inning. That's been it for his offensive production in today's game. Trey Turner, that double in the 3rd was his first hit of the season. He's now 1 for 8 in the series. He's going to bunt. Pulls back, ball 1. And now the Mets have something to think about defensively here, because Turner can run. He might be trying to sacrifice them, but he's not an easy out if he puts a bunt down. Shows bunt again. Gets it down. Third base side. Davis plays, throws to second. And out at second is Jean Gomes, and a heads-up play there by J.D. Davis to get the slower runner at second base. Turner's still a stolen base threat, but he's the first now. That will not go down as a sacrifice. Turner now 1 for 5, reaches on a fielder's choice. There's Adam Eaton. Lugo's first pitch. That's a strike, 0-1. A couple quick runners on base as well. Robles on third base. He was hit by a pitch to begin this inning. Trey Turner on first. He reached on a fielder's choice. 0-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2 on Adam Eaton. Seth Lugo not out of trouble yet. But Davis with that heads-up play, instead of runners at second and third, 1 out, it's runners at first and second, or first and third, 1 out. A double play is in order. 0-2 in the dirt, ball 1. And it should be mentioned, too, that both Turner and Eaton are quick runners. Not guaranteed that a double play would be turned. There's still a 2-run buffer, though. Lugo's got that going for him, but Eaton represents the go-ahead run at the plate. Tying run and Trey Turner's on first base, and he could score on an extra base hit from first. 2-2's the count now. Seth Lugo misses with that pitch. Tightly contested game. That's grounded foul. Count still 2-2. Ripped catch, a leaping catch made by J.D. Davis. That ball was destined for left field, but the obstacle of J.D. Davis prevents the Nationals from scoring, at least on that play. 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. Here's Juan Soto. 2 for 4 yesterday, 2 for 4 today. He's 4 for 8 on the season and batting in a crucial spot. Tying run is in the form of Trey Turner on first base. Victor Robles is on third. Especially with 2 outs now, a ball in the gap could easily score Trey Turner from first base, and Lugo keeping an eye on him. Still no count on Juan Soto. First pitch. Just misses. That's ball 1. There's Soto's career versus Lugo. 2 for 6. One of those hits was a home run. One pitch. That's hit to center field. Juan Soto's given the Nationals the lead. A 3-run, 2-out, top of the 8th. Home run for Juan Soto. And the Nats have the lead again. It's 8-7. Crucial home run in this game. That's Soto's second career home run now off Seth Lugo.
Your attention, please. Now
Brad Broch,
number 29,
coming out of the bullpen.
29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29. 29.
He signed with the Mets this past offseason.
First baseman, number 9, Eric.
Was traded from the Orioles to the Braves in the 2018-19 offseason. Or no, actually it was during the 2018 season. I apologize, but pitching now with the New York Mets. One of the better relievers in baseball.
At the ball.
And the pressure now off him and more on the Mets offense. Juan Soto just hit a 3-run home run. The Nationals have the lead again. But an offensive happy day. 1-1 pitch. Strike 2 on Eric Thames. Five home runs hit in this game. 3 by the Mets, 2 by the Nationals. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss, got him out. But Juan Soto, a hero at the moment. 3-run home run off Seth Lugo. And the Nationals have the lead going into the bottom of the 8th inning. Ronis Elias comes out of the bullpen. The pitch for the Nationals.
Leading up for the Mets, the right fielder, Michael.
Elias got to come in on opening day. Didn't do too well out of the bullpen, though. Only got 1 out and gave up 2 earned runs. Was replaced by Wander Suero in the 8th inning. Closer for the Nationals, Sean Doolittle in the bullpen. And here's the 1-0. Two ball, no strike count. Michael Conforto leading off the inning for the Mets. Swing and a miss, counts 2-1 now. 6, 7, 8 hitters due up for the Mets. Michael Conforto, Wilson Ramos, and Ahmed Rosario. Pitch popped into the air. And the shift was on, so Asdrubal Cabrera, one of the only players to be able to get to that ball. And that's the first out.
The catcher,
We're in the bottom of the 8th. There's your starter comparison. Each starting pitcher went 5 1/3 innings. Scherzer, 5 earned runs given up. Stroman, 3 runs, 2 of which were earned. Neither of those pitchers will get a decision in this game, though. Scherzer was on the hook for the loss. But after the Soto home run, fresh decisions will be dealt out. 0-1 on Wilson Ramos. He reached base earlier in this game. Chopped and foul, counts 0-2. On the ground left side, that's foul. The Nationals seem to be playing in a no doubles defense. We saw Asdrubal Cabrera playing closer to the line. Elias strikes out Ramos. And now that's the second out of this bottom of the 8th inning.
now batting, shortstop, Ahmed Rosario.
There's Ahmed Rosario. Elias with the pitch. Hit in the air towards center field. Victor Robles will make the catch. That ends the 8th inning. Let's go down 1, 2, 3. Last inning of regulation coming up. It's the Nationals 8 and the Mets 7. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callison. Such an interesting scoreline through 8 innings. The Nationals have 8 runs on 13 hits. And the Mets have 7 runs on 7 hits. Mets have gotten 3 home runs in this game, 2 of which were hit by Brandon Nimmo, the other by Pete Alonso. Nationals scored most of their runs on home runs as well. There was a 3-run home run hit by Asdrubal Cabrera and a 3-run home run hit by Juan Soto. And now it's 8-7. One pitch to Howie Kendrick. 5, 6, 7 hitters due up for the Nats. Grounded to third, played there by J.D. Davis. Throws to Pete Alonso. Kendrick's out. And that's the first out of the top of the 9th inning. Asdrubal Cabrera and the pitcher's spot are due up in this top of the 9th inning. Kurt Suzuki went 3 for 3, but got taken out due to a double switch to in an attempt for the Nationals to bolster their offense last half inning. 1-0 count now on the switch hitting Asdrubal Cabrera batting from the left side. And he hit a 3-run home run in the 6th inning. That gave the Nationals a 3-2 lead at the time. And you can see we've come a long way from that score. It's 8-7. One pitch. A breaking ball inside. Brad Brach entering his 2nd inning with the Mets. Came in the middle of the 8th inning to replace Seth Lugo, who gave up the 3 earned runs and relinquished the lead back to the Nationals. 2-2 count on Cabrera. But Brach himself has not given up a run yet. 2-2 still the count. Cabrera staying alive. That's inside. The count worked full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and the pitcher spot on deck. That doesn't find the zone. That's ball 4, and Asdrubal Cabrera works a 1-out walk.
The pitcher, number 55, Roenis Elliott.
Pitcher spot coming up now. More than likely the Nationals going to use a pinch hitter.
Your attention, please.
And here comes Starlin Castro off the bench.
Number 14.
Castro pinch hit on Thursday and did not get a hit. First pitch coming from Brach. Hit in the air by Castro on the first pitch that he sees off the bench. McNeil goes to the warning track and he makes the catch. And back to first goes Asdrubal Cabrera. That's the 2nd out, and let's track McNeil's route to that ball. 100 feet, 95% efficiency. Pretty good for Jeff McNeil, versatile player who, he's been taught to play a lot of other positions. Came up as a second baseman with the Mets, but with the acquisition of Robinson Cano, he's been asked to do a lot more than just play the infield. And he's played left field consistently, right field consistently. Projected to play third base a bit this season too. So well done by him. Well, 1 pitch coming to Robles. He's hitless in 4 at-bats, but in one of his plate appearances, he got hit by a pitch. And he scored on the Juan Soto home run. That pitch fouled off. Now it's still 0-2 on him. That hit up the middle, and Victor Robles has himself a 2-out single, advancing Asdrubal Cabrera to second base.
Now batting, the catcher, Yan Gomes.
And that was Robles' first hit of the season. Here's Yan Gomes batting ninth, playing catcher, 2 outs, 0 for 1. His first at bat was last inning. Oh, no, he didn't get out. Excuse me. He reached base last inning. Counts 0-2. He's 1 for 1 in plate appearances, not 0 for 1. That's some insurance on the bases right now. Sean Doolittle in the bullpen, the closer for the Nationals. That's hitting the left field. McNeil's going to play it on the hop. Asdrubal Cabrera advances to third, going to second, Victor Robles. And now aboard at first is Yan Gomes, and the order is going to recycle for the Nats. Trey Turner due up at the top.
The shortstop, Trey Turner.
And that's a well-hit ball. Top of the zone, hits it on the line. Station to station, and the line keeps on moving. First pitch. Strike from Brad Broch. Trey Turner, 1 for 5. That double he hit was in the third inning. Trey Turner still doesn't have any RBIs on the season. An opportunity presents itself for him here, though. 0-1 pitch. That's outside. Count is even at 1-1. And the heart of the order coming up for the Nationals should this inning extend. 1-1 pitch. That's outside. And Broch working himself into danger now. He came in last inning to replace Seth Lugo, who gave up the 3-run home run to Juan Soto. He hasn't given up a run yet. The only thing working for him now is he has 2 outs. 3-1's the count. And quite a tough position. Nowhere to put Trey Turner. And he's in a hitter's count. On the ground toward the middle. Yan Gomes. And the Mets escaped imminent danger, giving up no runs in. Going to the bottom of the 9th inning.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please.
Sean Doolittle, the closer of the Nationals, making his first appearance of the season. Didn't pitch on opening day. Those are his stats from last year with the Nationals.
Pinch hitting for the Mets, number 4.
Jed Lowry got himself a knee brace. And not a starter, but has found his way on the active roster for the Mets. That misses high. That's ball 1. Lowry, a switch hitter, batting from the right side, facing the lefty Sean Doolittle. 9-1-2. Due up for the Mets this half inning. Swing and a miss, strike 1. So Lowry batting here in the 9 spot, the pitcher's spot. But I'll go back to the top of the order for Brandon Nimmo and Jeff McNeil. Each of them have a hit. Nimmo has 2 home runs in this game. Again, he bats second. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's outside. Counts 2-1. A back-and-forth game. Not the fast pace of a teeter-totter, but neither team has had the lead for a long time. Grounded to third. Cabrera over to Thames, and that's the first out of the bottom of the 9th inning.
Now batting, center fielder, Brandon.
The Mets got runs prominently on home runs, 2 of which were hit by Nimmo and one of which was hit by Alonso. And here's the most recent home run Nimmo hit. It was a 3-run home run. That was the brightest spot in a half inning where the Mets sent 8 batters to the plate and scored 5 runs. Chased Max Scherzer out of the game. Scherzer and Stroman, the starters in this game, will not get a decision. 1 ball, no strike count to Nimmo. The Nationals, however, got most of their runs on homers as well. Asdrubal Cabrera hit a 3-run home run. In the 6th inning, Juan Soto hit a 3-run home run in the 8th inning. And in between those two, there were 2 sacrifice flies hit in the 7th. It was 8-7, and Brandon Nimmo is down in the count now, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Doolittle in a save situation. This is his first appearance of 2020. That's inside, counts even at 2. He struggled in 2019. Him and Daniel Hudson worked evenly at the closer position toward the end of the season. Gets a strikeout there of Brandon Nimmo. And that's 2 outs.
Now batting, number 6.
But Daniel Hudson was the closer during the playoff period. Got the save. Not really the save. He just wasn't a save situation in Game 7 of the World Series. But he threw the last pitch of the 2019 World Series. Got the final out. Hudson did. And Doolittle, quite the team player. Talked about that in post-game interviews. And this Nationals team certainly wasn't the most talented, but had the best 9 on the field, if that makes sense. Not the 9 best, but the best 9. And won a World Series with such great teamwork. Swing and a miss there. Jeff McNeil strikes out. Ball game over. Sean Doolittle strikes out 2, earns the save, and the Nationals fell behind early but came back. Overcame a 5-run 5th inning. 5-run 6th inning scored by the Mets to pull out a victory in this ball game. Well, pitching was not the highlight of this game. Home runs flew. Runs were scored. Again, no decision for either Marcus Stroman or Max Scherzer. You see Tanner Rainey gets the win out of the bullpen. Seth Lugo gave up the 3-run home run to Juan Soto. He gets hit with the loss, and the save goes to Sean Doolittle. Here's a player of the game, Juan Soto. Had a couple hits in this one, and that 3-run home run was the biggest of them. That gave the Nationals the 8-7 lead in the 8th inning, and the Mets couldn't score or come back. Had 3 hits in the game in 5 at-bats, one of which was the home run, and had 3 RBIs, all of which on that home run he hit. Final score again, the Nationals 8 and the Mets 7. And I mean, quite a scoreline there. Just pull your attention to that one. The Nationals won, scoring 8 runs on 15 hits, and the Mets scored 7 runs on an even 7 hits. And that's the efficiency of, for every hit they scored a run. Which is pretty good, but get hit with the loss. This series now tied at 1. These two will play each other again tomorrow to finish out the 3-game series. And it'll be a rubber match. Mets won Game 1, Nats here win Game 2. You've been watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. Stick around for the results, recaps, and standing updates that you can find no later than 10 o'clock. We'll run down every team, and we'll run down all the results and where the standings are as of March the 28th, 2020. But again, I'm Nicholas Callis. You've been watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20.